faster deportations to Lois Lerner apparently not being so fast on her mental feet when it comes to those pesky emails. This and a lot more now featured on the Mothership Newsmax website. Managing editor Tim Collie is here to detail it all. Tim, thanks for joining us, my friend. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Ed?
It's another day in paradise, my friend. Could it be anything less? It is certainly not paradise when you think of President Obama and what is happening now, the non-trip to the border, the trip to Colorado, the beer drinking, the pool playing, while a lot of people wanted a lot more from the president, which puts it right up top of the Newsmax website. Republicans push for faster deportations. You now have to wonder, do they have a little impetus behind them from the American public, as the president, in many eyes, has embarrassed himself and pretty much turned his back on the people themselves?
Yeah, I think he's undermined his own agenda. He's getting a lot of criticism also for the left. He's managed to sort of create a bipartisan mess in that everybody's criticizing him. Tom Coburn in our lead story points out that if you just bought out every child a first-class ticket, you could fly them back much cheaper than what you're asking for in $3.7 billion. That doesn't seem to have any end in sight when you look at the planning.
It's interesting how the president says this isn't theater, and we just saw videotape of he playing billiards with Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper. That in itself is theater. It is all theater, and whether you are a fan of the president or not, whether you support him or deride him, you must admit that he is still playing theater in everything that he does, like any good politician, actually.
Yeah, the president is first and foremost also the symbol of state. So when he needs to engage, as Rick Perry put it. He needs to go to the scenes of crises. This is why he goes to hurricanes. This is why they go to natural disasters of any kind. The president is the symbol of this country, and he represents the people.
I have been in lower downtown Denver before. There's only natural disasters at 3 o'clock in the morning on a late night after the Rockies lose a game downtown. Trust me, Mr. President, I can speak from example there and from personal experience. Also, Lois Lerner email found, warning that Congress might read her emails. If they wanted a smoking gun, then they might have found it here, right?
Yeah, there's enough smoke to fill up the room here. This came after she became aware of the IG looking into the fact that they had targeted conservative and Tea Party groups. So this is coming after she's aware that there's a storm on the horizon. She's telling people to watch what they're sending in email.
Also, we have an overseas story that is interesting. Germany expels U.S. intelligence envoy on spying allegations. Tim, we've been watching this as journalists for some time now, the NSA spying case. Angela Merkel is now all upset with what's gone on. Look, let's be very honest here. Those of us who have covered international news with any length of time know that there is constant spying going on between the two. So I think it's interesting to see where this will go and who eventually will blink and apologize, because you have to believe the Germans and the Americans will kiss and make up sooner or later.
Yeah, sooner or later, I think what the Germans are perhaps angry about, and also people on this side of the Atlantic too, is the sheer ineptitude of this. I mean, there should have been several alarms sounded long before it got to this point, and Obama himself wasn't even briefed by his intelligence officers that this was going on. When Merkel knew about it, he's talking to Merkel, and he hasn't been briefed on it.
Interesting note also on the Newsmax.com website. Rob Portman of the GOP, Hillary Clinton won't win the nomination. I think we're starting to hear a little bit more of this, Tim, even from both sides and a lot of the pundits who watch such things. There seems to be a little bit of a groundswell here that perhaps Mrs. Clinton at this point has taken quite a dip down. Of course, let's remember as we talk here, we've got a long way to go.
We've got a long way to go, and the charitable interpretation of this is that she's getting a lot of the dirty laundry and missteps out of the way, so when the actual campaign starts, she's battle hardened. But the book rollout has been inept. She's made one gaffe after another, and she's showing a lot of weakness right now, and that's what Portman and other people are responding to. I think they're frankly shocked. They expected something much more smooth.
It is all on the Newsmax.com website. Tim Collie stops by, lets us know what's there. Tim, thanks a lot for joining us.
All right, thanks, Ed. Have a good day.
You do the same. And now you take a couple of moments as we bring you another American moment.
It was erected in the dead of night, and for 28 years separated East Germany from West Germany. The Berlin Wall quickly came to symbolize the stark difference between the free West and the communist East. In June of 1987, President Reagan visited the wall at the famous Brandenburg Gate. and used the occasion to issue 2 public challenges to then Soviet Premier Mikhail Gorbachev.
If you seek liberalization, come here to this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate.
His second challenge was more blunt, and as it turned out, even more prophetic.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
On November 9th, 1989, 2 years, 5 months, and 1 day after President Reagan's famous challenge, that is exactly what happened. Only the Soviets didn't tear down the wall, the people of Berlin did. Once the East German government announced their borders to the west were open, the free people on both sides of the wall worked in unison to chip it away piece by piece until this monument to tyranny was completely destroyed.